never gets old for me. Hi,
No.
Sophia. No.
Hi.
When I hear the clapping, I get so excited. I can't wait for Tuesday nights. I can't wait for us to get together with these incredible artists of all genres, of all walks of life. I can't wait to see your beautiful face and everybody who always like chimes in to talk with us and hang out with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, tonight's show is exceptional. But before we even get into that, I want to talk about last week's show. Is Count Basic show. I know. And Peter stayed up like till 2 a.m. waiting for our show to start. That was incredible that he did that. And just going back in our history and talking about all that really, makes you feel all nostalgic and everything. And realize that you're doing something and you're putting it into the world. And it's really nice when you know that it's touching some people. So that's really great. Anyway, I don't want to bore anybody else with my chatter because tonight's guest is phenomenal. Renaissance man, like seriously, like when you think of the word Renaissance man, this is like the epitome of a Renaissance man in my eyes, So without further ado, let's bring in our guest this evening, Mr. SupaNova Slom.
Hey.
Welcome. Hey. Wow, it's obvious I put that clap track together, isn't it? You hear all me like.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, hi.
So honored to be invited.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, Ashe, give thanks. Thank you so much for having me, Kelly.
Of course. Now, I know you because I've known you since you were just a wee young boy, or I should say young lad, I should say, like 15 years old. We met in New York City, right?
Yes, exactly.
In the clubs in Manhattan, and I don't know how you snuck in. You were there on a weeknight, no less.
CBGBs.
You're right. Sneaking in there. How did you manage to sneak in there, by the way?
My cousin Interfied Vaughn, he was the one that, got me in all of those clubs, because his band at the time, Abstract, was, really a fixture on the Black Rock Coalition scene. So I got to meet all the legends like yourself and many others, just amazing artists, as a young, musician coming up. That's what really inspired me, just seeing all of y'all in action and, in that space in New York City. Very special time.
Yeah, and I remember, like, it's crazy because we became really fast friends, and even though you guys were young, I felt like I was taking you under my wing, the both of you, and showing you to gigs too, like wherever I was playing. I was like, come on, and somehow you guys managed to get in there too, and we hung out, and I remember you guys came to my loft in Brooklyn.
That was me and my other cousin Sean. Yeah, that's right. We came through.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that Entrified's a man, he's done a couple of gigs with me in the past.
Absolutely.
And I've been very proud, to watch his growth also as a musician and a man and all that. And then we have so many stories between the two of us. We can start with your tattoos, with your with your Shaka Khan tattoos.
Oh my God, my tattoo. Well, I'm 70% covered. My first tattoo I got was in LA. On Sunset Strip when I was on tour with my spiritual sister Erykah Badu for her first album Baduism. She took me on a road with her for about 2.5 years. I was her personal medicine man and nutritionalist, and I know that was around the time her also Andre 3000 of her conceived their first child, 7. So I was the one making all the juices and all the herbs and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
For her while she was pregnant with 7, and traveling with her. And so when I was on the road, that's when I first got my first set of tattoos. One was on my arm and my chest, and then it just kept going from there.
Were you in the room? Were you in the room when they were making 7?
No, I was not in the room when they were making 7.
Probably.
I don't think I was in the room when they were making 7.
That's so funny. That's amazing. I wonder how old 7 is now.
Wow, 7. 7 has to. Well, Bottleism came out in 1997, so he was born, I think, within that next year, like 98. So maybe about 22 years, 21, 22 years.
Oh,
Yeah. He's in college.
So,
He's
but
going to
that's
college.
how long I've known you, because I think we met about 1992 or 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah,
That's when we met.
around 93. Yeah,
Really?
between that. Yeah.
I mean, you were 15, I was like 17.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway, but you are a native New Yorker.
Absolutely. Born and raised in Brooklyn. Yeah.
And one of the things I love about you, and I want you to talk more about it, is your veganism and your activism and how the two merge together through your work and your music and everything.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised a vegan from my mother's womb. For those that don't know, Queen of Four is my mother. She's a best-selling international author of holistic health and wellness. So her and my father were plant-based vegans, when they met each other in the 70s, and they conceived me like that and raised me to be in continuation of that lineage. So just growing up in Brooklyn, being a vegan in the 80s was very challenging, because I was a super minority, trying to fit in and trying to navigate that space. But overall, I was able to overcome a lot of those challenges. And, as I became more active in my arts and more into the artists, I started to just share, what my lifestyle was with a lot of fellow musicians and local musicians that look to me for inspiration because of how I was raised, and would drop inspiration to them and share tidbits around health and wellness. And I remember when I was on the road with Erica between 98 and 99, she had me juicing for the whole entire team. And I remember her and Busta Rhymes was doing something at Radio City Music Hall, something like that. And then she was like, "No, but go get Busta the greens." And I gave him the greens, and he said, "Bro, you hip hop's medicine man." I don't know if he's gonna remember that, but when he said it, it stuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm known also as hip hop's medicine man. I'm really excited about just informing my generation and the future generation about the importance of taking care of themselves, body, mind, and spirit. And besides being a very diverse artist, I just really like to use my platform to encourage around holistic health and wellness. Yeah.
Also, but the great thing that I feel that you do is you are bringing a lot of people together from, like, you work with, besides the A-list entertainers and helping them with health and the spiritual aspect of things. You work with gangs. You've worked. You're a vet. A military combat vet, right?
Yeah.
You work with the local street organizations and leaders, and your ex-military soldiers or military soldiers and all that. Can you tell me how you fuse all those things together? Like, how is it that you spread that word? If people don't know you, right? How is it that it clicks? And I know you just don't go walk into, like, hey, you see a blood and you're like, yo, blood. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, there was a point in my teenage lives in Brooklyn in the 90s. It was very hard coming up in Brooklyn or any part of New York at that time. So I just happened to have that background, besides, me, a little 15-year-old in the CBGB clubs with rock music. I had my little rebellious phase too, where I was just immersed in the streets, almost losing my life in the streets, not really getting into particular details, but just overcoming that. And getting more into just the indigenous teachings from my moms, my elders, and just moving my life in a more productive pathway. All of the brothers that I happened to come up with who we were all together most times, you know what I'm saying? And I just had a different foresight as far as what I saw for brothers really taking their conflict and creating opportunities to grow and develop, So around 1995, I created an organization called Unify the Hood, Heal the Hood. Mainly because it was just, in Brooklyn specifically, it just was, the gangbanging was crazy. I had a lot of resources, had a lot of elders and folks around me that I wanted to use to encourage the young bangers around my way just to go from banging to building. And as I started to be known as one that was helping to do a lot of conflict resolutions in Brooklyn and across the city. People would just come to me just for health and wellness tips. A lot of the homies, a lot of the gang banging homies would come. I got asthma, I got arthritis, I have, so I end up having to. So my organization side of Unify the Hood was stop the gang violence around my local. Heal the Hood was like, okay, I have these wellness resources being raised in this, so let me also address that. And I realized I couldn't really address one without the other, because even me being an artist, if you're trying to encourage other artists to take on health and wellness for themselves and be the best version of themselves holistically, they also are in environments a lot of times that compromise socially their existence, with gang violence, right? So pretty much those became a unified signal that I was really about as far as my social activism, unity, gang, mediation, just stopping a lot of the madness, and then finding resources around holistic health. And that became my platform, expressed through my arts, expressed through the various projects I worked on. And, just that warriorship and just having that over 20 years, having just that camaraderie amongst the homies from different, tribes, different sets, different street organizations, having that, like you mentioned, I'm also a combat veteran. I served in the military in a combat capacity as an infantry soldier. I wanted to join the military specifically because I just was always, it was like one of those bucket lists. It's one of the things I wanted to do before I left my body. I said, I want to have the experience of service. I just respected the warriors. I respected just the level of discipline that they signaled. And again, I'm not here to push patriotism on anybody if they're not that. It's all good. But just as a warrior, again, coming from the street tribes, coming from that environment, and really knowing that I could also not only be inspired by what they're going to help to cultivate to bring out the best warrior myself, but I know that I could bring what I already signaled into the world into the service. So the heal the hood aspect, the holistic wellness. I was still able to be a plant-based vegan in the service. I didn't compromise, and my discipline was holistically inspired. My comrades that were my battle buddies. You know what I'm saying? On all levels of the chain of command, captains, chiefs, sergeants. I met a couple of generals when I was deployed in Afghanistan, and they were all inspired by my work that I did holistically, and they started to adopt, the tenets. So basically, my charge is whoever you are, you're going to be on your journey, and my thing is just to inspire brothers and sisters to stand in the authentic signal, whoever they are, stand on that, because you bring that into every aspect of your service in life, as an artist, as a creative, as an author, whatever you're signaling, you show up as yourself and learn and grow and be open to the growth and development. So. Yeah.
You also have a degree in sports medicine, which I find really fascinating too.
Well,
what sparked that?
I love physical fitness, and I'm a holistic therapist. So I really wanted to get more into anatomy and studying physiology, how the body reacts to movement, and because I'm applying holistic wellness, being well, body, mind, and spirit. So just wanting to know, it was more not really to go into the field to do that professionally. It was more to integrate it back into what I'm already been doing, just as a holistic practitioner. So yeah. Actually.
Well, so you're an author. You have 2 books out and a movie also, right? There's a movie for The Remedy too. Right?
Yes, a couple of documentaries.
So we want to show your books. Yeah, you have the new Man Heal Thyself, which is the most current book, right?
Yep.
And then prior to that, you had The Holistic Remedy, and there's the movie, and then you said it was like a revised version. This is the revised version. So what can people expect to find in these books?
Well, the Holistic Remedy, my first book, specifically, brothers and sisters across this country and across the world, they want to find tips and tools on how to integrate wellness into their lives, regardless of whatever their 9-to-5 jobs, going to school, whatever their different disciplines are. And just, so I paint a real simple pathway of how they can just adopt certain concepts of valuing themselves. One, establishing a mental space so they can begin to follow disciplines to get to their wellness goals. Some people's wellness goals is to weight. Some people's wellness goal is just to have a better temple of having their nutrition, to better their functionality. So a holistic wellness approach is finding daily rituals and tenets to encourage body, mind, and spirit functionality to its optimum level. And so the remedies specifically, regardless of what, if you're plant-based or not, vegan or not, giving you a really well-rounded blueprint or green print to encourage you to pretty much craft, a wellness life for you with no excuse as your wellness protocol.
I like that.
So that's that, right? And so, again, beyond just losing weight, it's more about, making a mental commitment to yourself to be the best version of yourself. So that's the remedy, right? And then Man Heal Thyself, the new book, which is co-authored with my mother, Queen of Ford. Very honored to, be her first oldest son, and the work that she's been doing for 50 years, literally 50 years in holistic arts to do this work, because in her work, one of her most famous books is called Sacred Woman, the Guide to Healing the Feminine Body, Mind, and Spirit. And she talks about women doing womb healing and women doing healing on themselves to be the best versions of themselves. And, throughout her journey, she's had many men say, hey, Queen, you need to write something for the, for the brothers. And a lot of the women who have husbands and sons and, just different men in their life want to come into their wellness path, so me and her collaborated together on this text to encourage men, to value themselves, to take onus and leadership in healing themselves emotionally, mentally, and setting up a disciplined, nourishing protocol for themselves to be the best version of themselves, so they can be a better service, to their loved ones and all their works in the world. So that's what Man Heal Thyself is about.
That's amazing. From that, I would like to we have a little video of you from the vegan video that I love how you break down. You're speaking about when you were a kid and growing up, and how I'll let the video speak for itself.
Okay.
Two parents were vegan, and they conceived me as vegans, and then I was raised vegan. So my mother was Whole Foods before there was Whole Foods. I come from a family of wellness ministers. My mother is a best-selling author of 9 wellness books. She's a holistic practitioner for 49 years. I had a plant-based business for 35 years. So I've been raised in this environment of consciousness. It's interesting for me to be raised vegan and maintain being vegan now it's more mainstream, it's more commercial and more widely accepted. When I was younger, I used to go to school with whole grain sprout sandwiches and have fights because I had sprout sandwiches and my friends had, fresh cut bologna and ham cheese, and they can understand why my bread was just sprouted bread and sprouts. That was it, and some olive oil, some dill pepper. That was it. And then the snack time, I'm whipping out organic apples and raisins, and they having chips and Twizzlers and Skittles, and fighting because of my lunch, because I'm different. So because of the fight, I've always considered myself a wellness warrior. It's a double mantra or affirmation, because not only because I'm a serviceman, a veteran serviceman, combat veteran, but I had to fight for my wellness. I had to fight, to maintain my health and wellness and my plant-based life choice. It wasn't just, fluffy and nice for me. Being a combat armsman, I still maintain my vegan lifestyle. I still maintain my plant-based lifestyle. On base, with basic training, on base, and while deployed, and after. So there's no excuses. Yes, if you know what to eat, and your eating is plant-based truly and not based upon a corporate packaged food, then you can find plant-based foods in Russia, in Czechoslovakia, in Korea, in Japan, in Mozambique, in West Africa, in Ethiopia, in France and Spain. All of our beautiful countries around the planet have their versions of plant-based nutrition. America should be a nation of strong people. Like, if we're the best, and we say we're the superpower, then we should be having superfoods. If we say we America's great, then we should be great with our lungs, our kidneys, our prostates, our womb. Our women shouldn't be getting hysterectomies. Our men should not be having erectile dysfunction. I understand that everybody may not become a vegan, right? But I can still encourage those who are not vegan to have more plant-based consciousness and activity, And so it's not leaving out our brothers and sisters in the country that are not vegans. We want to definitely wave the vegan flag and the plant-based flag, but we want to also know that no American should be left behind with health and wellness. So even if they have a different path that's not our vegan, we should continuously educate them on the benefits of becoming vegan, but also support them in the bridge, support them where they may not be strong enough to cross over, encourage them to drink more water, plant-based nutrition, more green. You know what I'm saying? And not only food is not only what you eat, but the consciousness, how you think. You know what I'm saying? So America's great. We have to have great consciousness. How we talk about each other, how we view each other. You know, so if we're going to be whole foods, we have to be having whole thinking, whole consciousness. How about in America, let's make America great by being great examples for ourselves.
Yes. 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 That was wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. But and so now this is the perfect time to talk about, you have your own nutritional supplements, right? How many people can say that? I mean, I just have some CDs that I make, but you have some
profound CDs that you make. Let's put some respect. Let's put some respect on that sound medicine. Yeah.
But let's talk about your super mega greens and your super mega protein and all those things, and let's tell people where we can get. I know I want some, and you know the funny thing, and I want everybody out there to know this: SupaNova didn't come to me asking me, "Oh, hey, can you push my products?" This is coming from me just doing it because I know that they're great products, and so he's not asking me. There's no angle. I'm not getting paid to do anything. This is just because it's great. So. I want people to know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I want to say that. No.
Thank you, Kelly. So I have a supplement company, a plant-based supplement company called SupaMega Foods. It's co-owned by my brother, my mother's second son, Ali Terrain, and my cousin Chris Kazi Rose. So we're three young black men that are into health and wellness. And the first product was the SupaMega Greens, or is the SupaMega Greens. We have three products. It's a micronutrient blend of chlorophyll, proteins, amino acids from the land and sea. So the best plants on the grass side, you got the perry grasses, you got wheatgrass, you got alfalfa, you have dandelion, and then you have on the sea level, you have chlorella and spirulina. So all of these working together are powerful phytonutrients that help to not only strengthen the cellular makeup of the body, like, feed your cells and give you the glow and give your body sustainability, but it also detoxes impurities that may be in your kidneys, your lungs. So it's an overall body superfood, your for the woman, the womb, the brothers, the prostate, and also the colon. So it's an overall superfood that you could just take, a scoop in some water. And you don't have, for those that have goals of weight loss goals, it's a good way to be on a liquid fast, and your cells are still being fed, so you don't have to have the yo-yo thing that people have after a 7, 14, or 21 when they fast, when they traditionally are on liquids, because their body still needs amino acids and proteins, so the plants act as that fuel. And so it's really good for all ages. And after that, we birthed the second product called the Super Mega Protein, for those that really goal is to put on lean muscle mass. And a lot of people who make a transition to being vegan and plant-based, one of my main concern is they want to keep the shape. Women want to keep the shape, brothers want to keep their muscles. So we have moringa, we have sprouted brown rice protein, pea protein, pumpkin protein, chlorella, that's the blend of that. And it's vanilla flavored, no dairy, no soy, and it's non-GMO. So we have that for the family. And then the third product, because we're in this environment, I'm not going to say the word, but we're in the pandemic that we're in, right? People are really excited about this unfortunate situation, inspired people to be more cognizant of their immunity, and to do stuff for themselves so they can be the best versions of themselves. So we have a tincture, liquid tincture called Super Mega Immunity, that is echinacea, that has reishi mushroom,
right?
Blends together amongst many other things. As in, they get vitamin C in it. The concentrated blend of these working together help to keep immune functionality. You can put it in your teeth. You can just take a drop on your tongue, daily, and just really feel overall, body maintenance. So, the company, we've been around for several years. We're growing. We're excited just to keep the signal going, and especially as African American brothers, the Caucasian brothers and the Asian brothers dominate the industry. You know, so it's not too many of our brothers really, getting a stake in it. We have a really low number, but that's why we're excited about, using our, growth and development to encourage our people to be more cognizant of their health and wellness, and choosing products that really support, better quality of themselves. So that's
right.
Super Mega Foods.
That is great.
www.supermegafoods.com. And for our people that are here tuning in to Kelly's amazing podcast, you can get a 20% discount if you type in Super 20, capital Super.
So maybe Sophia can put up what the site was that you said to get it from.
Okay, www.super SUPA mega MGA foods FOODS super SUPA mega MGA foods with the S.com.
Great.
And the discount code would be Super 20 SUPA capital SUPA. Right, that's it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for doing that. And I wanted to talk about the wellness portion, of your life, because you have so many little aspects that are really fascinating. You also do the online men's holistic rites of passage twice a year.
Yeah.
So what times of the year are those, and has it happened already one time, or did we miss this year? Is it next year?
Well, we're right in graduation, or we call it Ascension weekend. Like actually this weekend in Atlanta, we have 65 amazing brothers from around the country, from Europe, from India, Canada, parts of the Caribbean, all coming together, doing men's healing work. It's really great to have brothers from all different, identify different pathways, different backgrounds, come together and go through the emotional healing, go through the wellness protocols, and just keeping each other accountable to heal themselves. So we take brothers through a 12-week healing protocol inspired by the book Man Heal Thyself. And we're graduating 65 brothers that we're excited with. It's in conjunction with my mother's Sacred Woman graduation. So
wow.
So she has the woman, and then we have the brothers. And then so the next opening for the men's online training is September. But yeah, so we're excited to take brothers through that pathway again. And I'm proud of these 65 brothers. They're really owning their wellness, and they feel that because they're higher value of themselves, the quality of their relationships are reflecting that nourishment. They're taking time for themselves. So that's what we want to encourage our brothers. Don't be, I call them, don't be blamers, don't be complainers. Just take that signal and put it inside yourself and cultivate how you want to show up, and everything will start to shift to complement a better version of yourself.
Well, what is the age group though? What's
18 and over? So
18 and over. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah. 18 until. Okay, I love that. So,
and we get our youngest ones are 18 and 19, and our oldest ones we have a brother that's about 75. So yeah.
So I'm gonna urge you. I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm gonna urge you, because if anyone can do it, you can. To start a young men's program a little bit earlier, even a little younger, because what I'm seeing, having young nephews and nieces, I am seeing that there's a space that needs to be filled for a little bit younger in guidance and shaping for the ones that didn't have a mom necessarily, like Queen Afua, to show them the way a little sooner in terms of taking care of their bodies, in terms of what they put in it, in terms of thought processes and things like that. And I'm thinking like somewhere around 13 to maybe 12 to.
Well, beloved, it's capacity. As you see, your brother has so much stuff going on. So I did work in the Newark school system for 2.5 years after I came out of active duty from the military. So I was in as a mentor in the Newark school system. I worked at the various high schools in Newark with that demographic from 13 to 18. So it's about capacity. I am SupaNova, but it's capacity. Right now I'm filled with capacity, but I know that the work that I'm doing will eventually have an opportunity to expand to different modalities, because I definitely see it growing. And as I continue to grow, the support will grow, so I can free up more capacity to do something like that. So I definitely receive that challenge and salute.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, I'm mentoring. I'm doing my part with young women and young men, but and that's how I'm seeing too, in addition to my own nieces and nephews. I am seeing where it's the need needs to be maybe tapped in a little sooner, a little earlier on, I should say.
Right.
I could see that, and I could this is another conversation for another day, I suppose.
No, but we started. I mean,
I can see.
We set our intention. We put it out there.
I definitely can see, and because of maybe fast access and social medias and things like that, I can see where things where for my generation it wasn't such an issue because I didn't have so much like
concentration, was it
overstimulation, and like so all kind of things and all kind of that now there's more dysfunction in many different ways that needs to be addressed. So I mean, I'm going to, even if it's just I'll do my part how I can, and you're doing your part because you're doing it from 18 on and whatever, and hopefully it trickles down and those ones tell their friends and siblings and hopefully it all just starts to, the message gets to be spread. And even for myself, I mean, at my age, even me, I drop the ball very often, and I have to continue to try to pick it up, drop it, pick it up, so I understand that where if you're even younger, it might be a little bit more challenging too. But anyway, I wanted to talk about all those things, but now I would like to just go into the portion of your life that, what a phenomenal artist you are. So people maybe that, that don't know that. And okay, before we even go to that, I want to talk about your love of Chaka Khan.
Absolutely.
I love her too, but we have to address
You look like her too.
Well, when I wear my hair like this, I laugh. But this is like a cross between Chaka Khan and Gilda Radner.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on here? Okay, but I want to say, I don't think that there's anybody on the planet that loves Chaka Khan more than you. Can't be. You have 3 versions of her tattooed onto your body.
Absolutely.
Right? And do you remember the time that I connected you?
It was the most wow. This is called Wild People. That was the most wildest serendipitous alignment moment, whatever you want to. Wow. I'm still in wow from it. That's still a wow that actually happened, But for context for the people, one of my songs was called "She Looks Like Chaka Khan" for my catalog, and I did. Interesting enough, my daughter's mother, my daughter's name is Antoinette. She's 16 this year. Her mother looks like Chaka Khan, same tribe as Kelly. And I shot a video some years back, with some old school footage of Chaka Khan and showing my daughter's mother. But anyway, did it. Didn't think nothing of it, and I always back in my mind said it'll be so dope one day if Chaka saw this, and I let it go. You say it, set your intention, and just keep living your life. Did not really know that my sister Kelly peeped game, and now it's one thing to see something and keep living your life, but she's seen it whenever she saw it. Don't remember when she saw it. Didn't tell me. We never talked about that.
No, never.
Kelly talked about all types of stuff, and we even talk about other types of my music. We never talk about that song. So then, for Kelly to have remembered that, it was so special. Like, because I totally love and appreciate Kelly. So for her to remember me in the moment when she's with Chaka, in the midst of Kelly, who definitely is one of the artists as a young man that totally your art inspired me. So I'm still not only, a friend of yours, but just someone that looks up to you as a master musician. So for you being in your space, in your musician moment, doing what you do, and then having to be with Chaka and to mention your brother to her and have that, whatever that was, and then have her see it. You know what I'm saying? To have her see that tip you. Wow. Like,
but here's the good news. The good news is I'm just happy that when it happened, you answered the phone that day.
Well, you know what? I had mad missed calls from you. So what happened was,
wow, right.
I remember you, and what happened was I was doing when you called me, it was like the last year or so in my military service, because I moved from active duty to the National Guard to finish my time. Right. And I was doing a training. I was upstate, and I came back to check my phone. I saw mad missed calls from Kelly. And you said, pick up the phone. Where you at? I didn't know what it was. And then finally you sent me, the clip of Shaka shouting out the song, Shout Me Out. Wow. Wow, people. Ashe.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, I mean, without further, I want people to see this side of you that you have. I'm stop talking. Let's play Breathe. Just talk and talk. And sometimes I talk in circles.
Baby, close your eyes. Just breathe. Let me feel your heartbeat. Softly. Don't have no fear. Just know that I'm here. With you, my dear. And I'm breathing with you. 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 Baby, I love it when you breathe with me. Take your time, babe. Everything you want, everything you need. Put your hands all up on my body. You ain't got a rush. It's just you and I. Put your head on mine. Ooh, Don't have no fear. Just know that I'm here. With you, my dear. And I'm breathing with you. 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 And I'm breathing with you.
Wow. Tell me all about it.
Wow. Well, that was one of the singles from a recent project that I put out called Love in the Midst of Chaos. It's an alternative project, a little side road from the hip hop I'm known to do. If you can see and hear it, very inspired by Prince. He was one of the the foreground inspirations of my craft. And years before that, I did a song on one of my hip hop albums called Midnight. And totally, that's when my hair was way longer. Totally channeled the Prince vibes, and I did it just as a mic check to see what people would think and say, because I've always been doing alternative music, just aside from the hip hop I was doing, and people loved it. They responded really positively about it. They loved it, and so me and my cousin Interfied, who's the main producer of that song, but most of my catalog, we just was fired up to say, okay, you know what, let's create a project. Inspired by, the Purple Yoda, what I'm saying? Because he's really inspired us. And let's just do that. Salute. And so what happened when we were recording, when I, in between my active duty service as a serviceman, I would come home to Brooklyn, record Interfied in between. And we were in the midst of finalizing the finished touchings of the album before we started mixing. And that's when Prince passed. And so that really, it was like, whoa, because at that point I wanted, I was like, okay, if any project I'm going to get his attention to really hone in on it, I want to really just go ahead and salute him, and we felt that, that project, Love in the Midst of Chaos, would be a project that he would definitely appreciate. And he passed on. So as an ancestor, we just thought about him as we were mixing and mastering the project. And, we put our best foot in it. And so Breathe was, one of the several alternative songs from the project, just dedicated to that, the fierceness of the Minneapolis sound, just in our own salute to him. So
I love that. And if anybody who knows me knows that Prince is like my idol for sure. And I feel like he's the one that got away. I never got to work with him. It's so crazy. I work with so many people, and it's just like, wow. That one got away. I mean, it's okay.
I know he would have absolutely loved you.
but I dream of him. Like I've had weird dreams that I've gotten onto an elevator, and then when they're like some really big guys, like bodyguards in the way, and I'm like trying to peek between them, and then it's Prince back there hiding, and then I'm just like, oh, can I say hi? And they say like, no. Do you ever watch Tales from the Tour Bus?
Yes, I love Tales from a Tour Bus. Yes.
So you saw the one with Prince and Rick James?
Yes, I see that one.
Oh my goodness, that is put together so well.
Matter of fact, Cameron, did you see the recent Rick James film, the documentary his daughter put out?
No.
Yeah, you have to go to what's the New York Film Festival? The famous one. It's a New York Film Festival. What's
Tribeca?
It called? Tribeca. Go to Tribeca.com. It's on.
Yeah,
there.
I will because
it's called. Is it called Rick James Bitch? It's called something like that. It's called My Name is Rick James Bitch. I think it's called My Name is Rick James Bitch. Yeah,
that's what I thought you said.
It's something like that, something around that, right? But it's phenomenal when you just.
But I'm also a big Rick James fan, so
you need to see all Rick James fans. Please support his daughter. Produced it.
Rick James,
high level. It's just so powerful. It was done really well. Yeah.
I mean, that's again like when I watched the Rick James Tales from the Tour Bus, it was a little bit heartbreaking, towards the end and all that. It was just heartbreaking because he's just so talented, and all of them are just amazing. On that note, I do want to play the other side of you.
Okay. So, the side I'm most known for. Okay.
Yeah. That side I love. And so if we could just get in there, that super shine, I would be super happy. SupaNova.
They shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super.
Shit, better than a morning star. And with the brilliance of 100 million tons. So nobody do it like the SupaNova shine. SupaNova, all your other second hitters, I'ma get it till you're done. And I'll be the getters when I spit it, get it ball. Trigger finger if you ready when you hit it, wanna jump. Hit it when they get it caught. SupaNova, get it up. And I got a lot of bullets and I make it as a pump. Yes, fly like the mothership. See the honey beam down. Sip, 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 sip. Heat in the body when I visit to a body. She gon' fit it in the body when I visit to a body. SupaNova better than the whole Illuminati. Better than the sun, but the fire by the eternity. Bringing all your hitters, just to fit it on your hitters. It don't matter what you're doing, but the SupaNova straight up. Hyperspace when I pop it. Blasting off from there, rocket. He the second haters when I pick a second hater. SupaNova, someone's brother out of reach, the second haters. Put it in the hood to make the bass go pump. I gotta kick it with the focus and it with the pump. If you wanna get it, let me see you represent it. Get up in it when I spit the SupaNova.
Shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super.
Shining bombs when I drop it, cold crush when I pop it. Adrenaline rush in the socket, hit it with a surge, make a pop and lock it. Jumping the bass, go knocking, been around the world in a rockin' mountains. With us to the life, with the mic in the fight, and I gotta get the money from the morning to the night. When I'm in the zone, brother say yo, atomic energy, ET, throw home. Tell the rap towels that I'm king tut go. Tell us the man that I'm cut from the mouth. Straight raw, dope, no crack on the flow. I'm so fly, got racks in the wall. I'm so fly, gonna roll, won't fall. Space age, pin for the trick, won't slip, don't trip. I'm the best in the game, and I got the better picks, and they all recognize SupaNova don't see. He's raising that BK with him G stay with him street waves. You don't wanna be around when he sprays. The killer energy that's switch made. Super bang out like a C-Day, so you dare fall back when you get
fade. They ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining like super, they ain't hopping like super, they ain't shining.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Can I borrow that coat?
Yes, you can.
That coat. How do you rap that fast? How did you learn to rap so quickly?
This is the way my mind works.
Oh my
you know what? Interesting enough, the root of speed rapping and double timing is in jazz, and I never forgot. I knew it instinct. I knew it studying, scat artists when I was young. I used to study, that. But I remember maybe about 2002 or one of the icons, Ben Vereen, he knew that did speed rap, and he loved the way I would move. And he said, "You need to study Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross."
Oh yeah, I have those records.
Right. So you know, if you, when you think about Migos, Bone Thugs, especially Bone Thugs and Harmony, Twister, and the way they move in triplets and doubles, and I mean, Cloudburst would be a great song for those out here. Well, if you love Kelly, I'm pretty sure y'all tuning in love Kelly, definitely, who is a master jazz vocalist, besides just an R&B vocalist. You definitely want to study Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross, and the way John Hendrix moves on Cloudburst. You know, so I just started studying a lot of the, a lot of those. That's how I studied those pockets, and I imagine me being like if a guitar's moving quick or a horn would move a certain way. When I was young, I used to imitate a lot of that just in my mind, in my little stuff. So, you know, when I hear a track, I can rhyme forward, what they call forward. You just spit, right? But you know, when that hits me, I can hear the doubles and triplets coming, and I'm moving pockets because I like to keep it. The Migos cadence is da 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 da. It's predictable. That's why everybody can jump on it. Bone Thugs was melodic, so you had to decipher. Right, so you had to. What are they saying? All right, and Twister, forget about it. Twister was you got it. You right, but. So you appreciated those, but it was more like the audience was looking at it, going, "Wow." Migos, that's why they flow like everybody flows like them now. Yes, so it's like a dumb. Respectfully, I like Migos, but it's like a dumbed down Bone Thugs and Harmony flow, right? So they took out some of the pockets and rhythm, and they just da 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 da. So anybody can really do it. Your grandmother can do it. She gets it. The kid can do it. So that's become the standard, but. So right. But me, right? So I study all of that from the dumbed down version to the complex. And when I'm listening to a song, I try to find, you know, you have a start, but there's pockets. There's so much space in between it, like how a horn player would move, you know. So as I'm moving, I'm, you know, I'll take a song and I would probably what I call it ghost spitting. I just would scat rhythmically on it for a while until the lyrics come to me, right? So I get the rhythm, like what do I want to create? And even Super Shine, right? It was a dumbed down version of my flow because I wanted to do my flow in a way that was more accessible with that. So I made it real simple. I didn't really get busy like I could really go. So Super Shine was like my Migos simplified of me. You know what I mean? Because I could go real technical. But anyway, I got a little geeky right there for a minute. But anyway, I love rhythm. I love it. I study emceeing and breath control and different tones and speeds more from a musician standpoint. My start was I first started playing guitar and piano, you know, at a very young age. So that was my pretty much start in the arts. And then vocal came into that, then poetry, then emceeing came. And so I've always approached rapping from a more technical musician standpoint, not just from a griot, you know, spoken words for a point, just really like how a musician would move when it's their solo time. That's how I look at it, you know. So, yeah, really, really great. I really love it, and I'm just gonna say thank you again for coming tonight to hang out with us here on Wow People. Thank you. I think this is the 12th or 13th episode or something that started out as just like from my newsletter. Just kind of evolved. Full manifestation, and the shows are awesome. I mean, thank you. And came in, and now it's a full blown. You know, I feel like Sophia and I are producing little television shows every single week. Yes. And it's loads of fun, and it's people that I admire and respect and adore, like yourself, that take the time to come and hang with us. And then I want to shout out all the people that come onto the stream live, like Russ and Doran and Suzanne and Tom and DJ Dress and Harren. I mean, DJ Dress, I said that already, right? And all these people and the ones that watch afterward, I want to thank everyone because I know everyone is so busy now with so much to do that you take time out of your busy schedules to come and hang with us. Thank you. Yes, I'm just blessed and grateful for Sophia as well. But Sophia. And Roro Johnson, how can I forget her? She's so powerful too. What I wanted to say is I love every day when I go onto my Instagram and you have those powerful affirmations, and I don't always comment, you know, I just take them in and then I try to implement them into my day.
I think that what you do is so powerful, and it's giving, and you have to give. You have to. We're so blessed with so many gifts that you give every single day, and you give many times a day, and that's what it's all about. And I'm trying to do my part in giving. Giving a platform for other artists, giving a platform for what I'm doing. This is. I don't want money. I don't want anything like that from anybody. I'm just trying to bring awareness of artists that I love to people that may not know about them. Right. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm giving back something. But I would like it if you could leave us with a wonderful affirmation. But before we do that, let's just talk really quickly about next week's show. We have a wonderful guest on. We have an actress named Joanna Tolentino. And she's been on like Law and Order and all kind of things. And I really want, I want to showcase artists that, like I just said, that people may not know of and that sort of thing. So she'll be with us next week, same time, same bet channel, all that. And now maybe if you don't mind, I'm putting you on the spot. If you could just leave us with a wonderful affirmation.
Yes.
Would be just amazing.
I am the most two important words that are commanding. So if you put a positive salute to after I am, right, it charges you subconsciously. So if you say like, I'm sick and tired, right, that now you start to move on the resonances. Even if you're feeling that, you start moving on that. If you say, I am healing, so I'm in the process of healing, now you're using that resonance. So it's very important that no matter what we go through in our lives, that we find ways in our daily practice to use the I am in a positive way, even if it's not necessarily the current situation that we're signaling, right? So in honor of wild people, I am the wow. I am magnificent. I am golden. I'm glorious. I'm magnetic. All that I put into the world is at my highest and wisest to help others succeed and to be who they need to be as their authentic self. I am a compliment. I am a divine reflection. I am you, you are me. We are one. I am we. Ashe.
Ashe. Everybody, SupaNova Slom, thank you so much again.
Thank you, Kelly. Wellness, salute to the family.
Oh my goodness. And beautiful affirmations, Heron says, and she is right. I'm going to bring Sophia back in here and thank her for all.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, everybody needs a right hand, and she's mine, and we're grateful for her.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for you, SupaNova, all the years that we've known each other, all the wonderful years. You've never, through your successes and my successes, what I can really see is that we've never let that change who we are, our essence of who we are as people, especially towards each other too. It's just something else that we do, but it's not who we are necessarily. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for chiming in.
And for those that don't know, two real quick plugs. Kelly has a song with me, incredible, on my album Electric Intercourse. Amazing. Well, I mean, I'm so honored to have that. Check it out. You can stream my stuff all over Spotify or wherever your streaming services is. And also one of my most amazing songs of her recent catalog was "I Want to Be Free." And me and my cousin Intifai, we sampled I Want to
Get Off.
I want to get off. I want to be free. Right.
Stop this crazy ride. Oh, shoot.
This I feel inside. Yeah. I want to be free. Yep. And we stand for that. It's also, she's definitely in the DNA of our Sonics, and we appreciate her art. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you. And hopefully, what did you call it? Electric Sexified? What did you call it?
The album is called,
What'd you say?
The album is called Electric Intercourse.
Right. So if I get lucky, I might have electric intercourse tonight. I can't even say it. What a dummy. All right. All right, everybody. Good night.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Blessings. Peace. All right.